What's up, Dan-Dans? Welcome to Overrated, Underrated. It's pretty clear what we do on this show. We talk about something that's overrated, or we talk about something that's underrated, or sometimes we talk about both. I like to always try to talk about both. I only have one plan, so I'm going to totally fucking wing the other one. Right into it. Underrated, DmC, Devil May Cry, the remake that was on PS3 and Xbox 360 and eventually ported over to Xbox One and PS4. That game is so fucking good. And I don't want to hear it if you're a fan of the original and you're like, oh, this looks like Twilight Dante. This isn't what Dante is supposed to look like. He's got black hair and he's emo. Who fucking cares? Like, I didn't play the original, so I don't have any attachment to them. I believe that they're really good. I just downloaded the collection on my PS3 of 1, 2, and 3. Check them out because I am very interested in them. I like that kind of game. But, dude, the remake is so good. And you are doing yourself a major disservice if you are not playing it just because you don't like the look of the main character. That game is funny. There's a part in the beginning where like the trailer's getting all fucked up and gravity's throwing it around and he's naked because he was partying all night, and as he's like flying through the side there's just a piece of pizza that covers his ding ding.
Get your filthy fucking claw off my trailer.
I will suffer, I will burn, let hate prevail. Enslave my soul, but I'd rather surrender.
Missed.
That part's funny. The soundtrack is amazing. It's not really my kind of music. It's like thrash metal. That's not really the stuff I kind of listen to, but it was weird to hear that in a video game. You know, there's a lot of sports games that have like mostly hip-hop soundtracks and like electronic soundtracks for platformers and space shooters and shit like that, but DmC was the first game in a long time where I've heard like insane thrash metal. Doom came back in, what was that, 2015, 2016? And they had their classic soundtrack and it's kind of the same shit. But the soundtrack is great, it's really funny. The gameplay, are you fucking kidding me? You can switch between weapons on the fly. You're slashing up everybody with the scythe. You got the fucking sword. You got the fucking guns. You got everything. And there's like angel attacks and demon attacks. It switches between red and blue. There's certain enemies that are red and there's certain enemies that are blue. Sometimes you gotta fight them at the same time, but only the blue enemies will get hurt by the blue thing, and only the red enemies will get hurt by the red thing. It's some of the best level design I've ever seen in a video game. Like, I remember the level right before you fight this one crazy boss who's so fucking... Oh, I won't even spoil anything for you. But there's a level where it starts in like a nightclub. It's like a modern disco. And then the lady sees that you're there, so she freaks the fuck out, and it turns into like the Silent Hill upside down hell world, whatever you want to call it. And like the dance floor breaks into these separate levels, and now all of a sudden you're like in a disco from hell. And each room that you go in, you have to accomplish these certain tasks in a certain time limit. DmC is so fucking good, and everybody should play it. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite games from the last generation. I talked about that. We did an episode of What Game Are You Gaming, where I put over how good this fucking game is. And I talked to a lot of people, and they've never played it. So I want to stress to you right now how good that game is. It's dirt asshole cheap at this point, so you can get it almost anywhere for like $10 to $15. And if you don't, you can lose my fucking number, because if you don't want to play DmC, I don't want to talk to you. That's kind of how it is. So that was underrated. What's overrated? Oh, you know what's overrated? What's overrated is shutting something down just because at first glance you're like, that's not my shit. You know, get the fuck over it. Play DmC. Check out anything that you judge the book by its cover. That's what they say, right? Don't judge a book by its cover. Play DmC. I'll see you next week.